We now begin with the third session of the chapter motion from your physics part of science. I already told you in the previous session that we will be starting with the concept of speed, moving on to average speed, then learn what's velocity and average velocity. We will aim at completing this much in today's session. So we will begin with speed. Now when you say that, I was running very fast, what do you actually mean? You want to say that you were covering a lot of distance in a short amount of time, right? So there are two physical quantities which automatically should come to our mind when we talk about speed. And what are the two physical quantities? One is distance and the other is time. The example that we spoke about just now, where we covered a lot of distance in a short amount of time, now that will determine your speed. How much distance you cover in the given time, right? So, we will derive the formula for speed from what we discussed just now. Speed is the distance covered and the time taken to cover that much distance, right? So what time did you take and how much distance did you cover? Both these will decide what speed you were traveling at. When I look at it scientifically, speed is defined as the rate at which something moves. Always remember, when we use the term rate in physics, it involves time, right? You're talking with respect to time. So with respect to time, how fast is something moving? That is called as speed. And the formula for speed is distance by time. You should always remember, when you say speed, you mention only distance, because speed is a scalar quantity. It does not have direction. So distance upon time gives you speed. Scientifically, we write it as S is equal to d by t. Right? Speed is equal to distance upon time. Now, this is a small example of the term that we use in our everyday language and what it scientifically means. For example, when we tell the bicycle picked up speed as the boy rode down the hill, what do we mean to say scientifically? It means that he was covering more of distance in the same time. So his speed has increased. And when I say the speed of the truck broke the speed limit, if you travel on the road and you notice by the sides, it would have been written some places that the speed limit allowed is 30 kilometers per hour. And you have a device called speedometer in your vehicle which shows you how fast you are traveling. If you go beyond that speed, the police will catch you. That means you are covering more than 30 kilometers in 1 hour's time, right? A measure of how fast an object is moving is called speed, and it is found by dividing distance by time, right? So let us try what will be the SI unit for speed, because it's very important that whenever you solve numericals, you express the quantity, the answer, with its unit. Now, what is the standard unit for distance? It is meters, and for time is second. So what will be the unit? The SI unit of speed, it will be meter per second. You can also write this as ms. If I take it up according to the law of exponents, how do I write it? I will write it as ms raised to the power minus 1. But I think most of us will prefer this. So the SI unit of speed is meters per second. We will now talk about what is average speed. Average speed is total distance travelled by total time taken, right? For example, all of you write a test in the class. How do I find out what is the average mark of the class? I will add all your individual marks and divide it by the total number of students in your class. Same way for average speed, I will add the different segments of travel, right? If suppose it covered 50 kilometers in 1 hour, okay, a vehicle, then it covered 30 kilometers in the next 1 hour, and it covered 60 kilometers in the next 1 hour. Right? Now, for total distance, what will I do? I have to add these three distances, right? So, which means I will be doing this 50 plus 30 plus 60 kilometers divided by, what is the total time? 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3 hours, right? So, I will get here 50 plus 30 is 80, 80 plus 60 is 140 kilometers divided by 3 hours. So, what is 140 by 3? Whatever is the value, 140 divided by 3 will roughly work out up to 46.6 kilometers per hour. So, this was the average speed of the travel, right? So, I have to add and find out total distance divided by total time taken to cover the distance, and that will give you average speed. I have given you a very simple numerical now for you to understand how do you calculate average speed. We'll read out the sum first. Suppose a truck travels 60 kilometers in the first hour and 80 kilometers in the second hour. What is the average speed of the truck? Now what do? We will find out total distance travelled first, then we will also find out total time taken. Total distance travelled will be what? 60 kilometers plus 80 kilometers, which is 140 kilometers. And for how many hours has it travelled? It has travelled for 2 hours. So we all already know the formula for average speed. Total distance by total time, which is 140 divided by 2. So the truck averaged a speed of 70 kilometers per hour. It means roughly the truck could cover 70 kilometers in 1 hour. So it finished 140 kilometers in 2 hours. Right? Moving on to the next slide, we now introduce the concept of velocity. Right? I have speed, I have velocity. It is very easy to understand. What did we study till now? We studied that speed is a scalar quantity, which means it has only magnitude. But velocity, in very, very simple terms, is speed plus direction. So, speed plus direction will give me a quantity which is called as velocity. So, the first picture here, speed is how fast you are actually travelling. For example, the car is travelling at a speed of 20 meters per second. It means it's covering 20 meters in 1 second. But come here, when I say the car is travelling at a velocity, I should mention the direction. So that's why it is written, the car is travelling at a velocity of 20 meters per second east. It means that the car is covering 20 meters in 1 second and it is moving in the east direction. So, velocity is a vector quantity that refers to the rate at which an object changes its position. Remember, when we talked about object changing position, we automatically have to mention in which direction it is changing its position. So, that is why velocity is a vector quantity, but speed is a scalar quantity. Now we will look at the basic differences between speed and velocity. Speed is defined as a rate of change of distance. But I think now you by yourself will be able to tell me that velocity is the rate of change of displacement. What is the difference between distance and displacement? Distance is how much was travelled. Displacement is how much was travelled and in what direction. Right? So, speed is a scalar quantity, whereas velocity is a vector quantity. Fortunately for us, units are the same. It is meter per second. Formula is, speed is also denoted by V here for common people to understand. Speed is distance by time, but here when I write V and put S by T, S represents displacement. So, V is equal to S by T is for calculation of velocity. and S there on the numerator represents displacement. So speed we get by dividing distance covered by time taken, and velocity we get displacement that happened divided by the time taken for the displacement. We now will talk about velocity that is constant and velocity that is not constant. Does this remind you of something? It also is the same like uniform speed and non-uniform speed, right? Constant velocity example, just look at it, it's very easy. The arrow head here indicates the direction in which the displacement is taking place. I have the time mentioned here, 0 second, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and the distance that's covered every second. So how much is this car covering? It's covering 20 meters in every 1 second. And in which direction is the displacement taking place? It's all taking place in the same forward direction. So this is an example of constant velocity where equal displacement happens in equal intervals of time in the same direction of motion, right? The graph representation for constant velocity is the same like for uniform speed. But only difference, if you have noticed, is on the x-axis I have time here also, but on the y-axis what do I have? I have displacement instead of distance. It's very, very important because when they ask you to draw a graph representing constant velocity, you should mark displacement on the y-axis. If you mark distance, then it becomes a graph for uniform speed. So graph for uniform velocity will have time on the x-axis and displacement on the y-axis. So equal amounts of time, equal displacement will take place. The slope is straight, right? So this slope indicates velocity. Like how the slope there indicated speed, here the slope indicates velocity. A quick recap, uniform velocity is when the body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time in a specified direction. Let's look at some examples. When a train is running towards south and it covers 50 kilometers every hour, it's supposed to be running with uniform velocity. An aeroplane flying north and it is covering 300 kilometers every hour is again an example of uniform velocity. We will move over to the next slide where we talk about uniform velocity and variable velocity. Variable velocity is just another name for non-uniform velocity. Variable means which can change, right? So, a new concept you are learning in this slide is average velocity, right? It is just like average speed. But what is the formula here? When a body moves with variable velocity, how do you find the average velocity? You add initial velocity. Initial velocity is with what velocity it started and the final velocity of the body and divided by 2. It is just like the formula you use for finding the average of numbers, right? Now let's go to the next slide. Examples of variable velocity. This, you can take the vehicles moving on the highways, I spoke about it. So when the velocity keeps changing, then it is becoming variable velocity. And the blades of a ceiling fan. When you change the marking on the regulator, the fan either rotates more fast or it becomes slower. So that becomes variable velocity. At this point, I would like to just mention one small thing. Velocity can be called as variable and it can be changed using one out of two methods, right? Now, I can either change the direction of movement, which means the velocity will change when the direction changes, or I can actually change the speed, right? So, if I change the speed, keeping the same direction, then the velocity will change. And if I change the direction, then the velocity becomes variable. It will become non-uniform. So now, We looked at speed, velocity and average velocity in this particular session. I hope the session was as enjoyable for you as it was to me. Thank you so much.